Okay. Next we have the Daraya Punk Band AU exclamation point by the Bitter Hedgehog, which is inspired by the Progeny and Anna's Daraya's Punk Band covers, which you can find on her YouTube channel. If somebody who's not me wants to put that in the chat, in the Twitch chat, because I don't have it on hand and I don't have it memorized. But
oh wait, which one? The Progeny?
YouTube channel for Anna.
Oh yeah.
Everybody out of the goddamn way. You got a hat full of bomb, a fist full of penis, a head full of empty. Yeah, okay, that's the right order. Because the head full of empty is the punchline in that particular case, not the fistful of penis somehow.
Oh, never mind. Didn't go.
Perfect.
Oh, so the fistful of penis is the tritagonist?
No, it's still the deuteragonist, because the tritagonist would technically be the head full of empty, which seems...
God, thank you for answering that. I felt my heart start to break whenever, like, fucking 2 seconds of utter silence passed.
I had to think about it. I had to take it seriously and think about it, Val.
Alright. Okay, we've got...
Yeah, so we're going to do the first chapter of this. So we've got Daraya convinces Chixie, Malik, and Tizius to start a punk band to help support the revolution. So this is actually a sequel to Answers to the Question of Revolution and a prequel to the Progeny. Okay. So we have read both Answers to the Question of Revolution and what exists of the Progeny thus far on this channel. So those... If you're watching this as an archive, you can find those presumably in the little card pop-up or in the little, or probably either in the description or related videos. And then I think I have a fucking Hive Swap fic playlist. And if you're watching it right now, you can go to... Okay, I think if you go to... let me see... the Willet Homestuck website, but you go to Fic Archive instead, which should be accessible through the Fic list. I'll drop a link to it. There should be a link directly to the Hive Swap themed Fic Archive list. Nope, that's super not it. Whatever.
Yeah.
I forgot something important there.
Yes.
I was like, why isn't it turning into
there
a link?
and it'll work.
I just put it's the wrong link anyways. That should do it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But yeah, semi recently I went back in and I made sure that the website has links directly to like the actual themed playlist as well as the chronological order archive.
Yeah.
And then if you want to get really fancy, I believe I put links to our archives of our past game streams, so you can get direct links to like the Dolorosa video or the Aradia Befriend Us video without having to like dick around on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yo, look at that card pop up at the playlist. Wow. Yeah, Kit's got it. Kit's role playing existing in a YouTube video in the future. Thanks, Kit. Okay, now I have to make a mental note to not cut that part out of the video. Alright.
This will make substantially less sense.
Yes. Okay, so we have narrator.
This one only has Daraya and Branya in it.
Okay.
I could be
feel like Anna. I think Anna should do Daraya at least.
Yeah, I can do Daraya.
Val, what'd you say?
I said I could read for narrative if y'all wished.
Lit. I guess... Does that... Shania, do you want to claim Branya?
Yeah, I'll do Branya, sure.
Lit. Just smacks you in the face with a jade.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Actually, yeah. Give me 2 seconds to let Tate out before she honks her way through this video, and then we can start. BRB.
Honk, honk, honk.
Gosh, diggity darn it. I hate whenever my water bottle like starts to leak out the side.
Oh no, that's bad.
Yes. I just have to wipe it and then tighten the thing, so
yeah,
there's nothing.
That's good. I think that tonight's selection is actually pretty balanced as far as like tone of fics, because we got a couple of like sweet fics and a couple of like a little more depressing ones. I don't remember if this 5 years chapter is one of the depressing ones or not.
Itself, not to be rude, I mean this in the most affectionate way, but they're probably all going to be sad.
Well, I remember that certain chapters were the sadder ones.
That's true.
Right.
Some of them bap you on the head, and some of them punch you in the gut repeatedly.
Oh, I get the vibe.
I'm ready for pain. Bring it on.
Well, we're not there yet.
Read my hive swap novels then.
Novels plural, because you have multiple hive swap novels, which is great.
You're feeding me so much.
I am.
Okay. Let's get reading.
Yeah.
All right. Creeping, crawling, clinging by the minutes drag along as you languish in your prison cell, waiting for your evening sustenance. Your rotting lungs bellow a putrid air, and your heart chokes one more beat to maintain your tiny life. Within the spiraling black loops and knots of your brain is the minuscule crevice that foolishly, uselessly houses a dying hope, like a star slowly imploding, that your jailer carries a pardon from your eternal punishment and saves you from your heinous hell in both body and soul. Your name is Daraya Johnjet, and you are bored to the point that you have gone to dramatic monologuing to yourself in your head and now on paper as you scribble the thoughts into your notebook. In reality, it is late evening, and you are sitting at your desk with an open notebook and ragged pencil as you wait for Bronya to bring you your dinner. You have been hived for about 2 months now. Could this fate have been avoided? Possibly. Unlikely, but possibly. But after returning home from your excursion at the Chixie concert with Tizius, you were in no shape physically or mentally to sneak back in. Whatever punishment you would get, you would begrudgingly take it. All you had wanted was your bed and an ice pack. You had barely closed the front door behind you when Bronya swooped in on you. First, she was furious, scolding you for skipping classes and being out without permission. Then she took notice of your bruised and scratched body and quickly fell into Mother Cluckbeast mode, cupping your elbow gently as she led you to her bathroom to treat your wounds. Voice whisper soft as she apologized for how the medicines made you hiss like a kettle. Once you were cleaned and bandaged up, she drilled you about your day. Where were you? What happened? Was anyone else hurt? But despite your fragile state, you still had enough of your wits about you to obfuscate the truth with casual rudeness. None of your business. Some drones blew up a store I was in. You know how these things go. Frustrated, she had sent you straight to bed, saying you'll talk more about it after you have slept. But after sending a message to your friends that you made it home okay, you slept like the dead. The next night, feeling physically better but mentally still, like you got hit by a truck, Bronya confronted you again with the same litany of questions. Again, you answered in the most frustratingly nonchalant way possible, rimmed with annoyance and acid, which made Bronya flush green with anger. She announced that you were hived for your foreseeable future, with all privileges, with the exception of work duties and classes, confiscated until, in her words,
you became a bit more reasonable.
You almost laughed out loud in her face when she had said that. Since when have you ever been reasonable? The worst part of the punishment, hands down, was the boredom. Bronya had taken your palm husk, your husk top, even your trashy boy band magazines that you had stolen from your hive mates versus pranks, but then out of small genuine interest, not that you would ever admit that to any of them, and hadn't had time to hide properly. All you had for entertainment was the notebooks you bought for aesthetics, but never actually used from the bargain bins at Grub Mart. Until now. You hunch over with terrible posture, staring down at the page you just filled. You bite your lip as you pick apart the monologue, circling words and phrases you like and rewriting them on a different page in patterns you find pleasing. Creeping, crawling, clinging by. Your heart chokes on one more beat. Within the spiraling black loops and knots of your brain, A star, imploding, saves you from your heinous hell, in both body and soul. Even you can recognize that you are trying your hand at poetry, and even Mother Grub help you songwriting. Before the concert, you would have never thought that you would write, let alone poetry. Ugh. But you found yourself longing for anything that can give you a semblance of structure. And poetry, at least to you, was all about structure. And more than that, you needed something to serve as an outlet for the slow, lava-like anger that bubbled in the pit of you. Because that's all you had to grip onto. Anger. Anger at the drones and trolls who had decided who was worth bothering to keep alive. At your violent, desensitized culture, which was at best apathetic to the bloodlust that were celebratory of it. At the trolls who should do something about it, but didn't because of fear or pride or some other wall of excuses. At the people who had tipped the Empress off about the Chixie concert and had sent the attack. At yourself and Malik and Tizius for having made it out, but that demon had been left behind in that big pool of red. At yourself for not being angry enough, for not being disturbed enough to do more help. You clench your teeth together tight. You write faster, pressing so hard into the notebook you almost break your pencil. You will do more. You have to do more. You are glancing at your notebook, debating on whether you should keep hell capitalized, despite it being of little to no consequence to the work itself, and yet an extremely important decision at the same time, when the door opens. You immediately, and as discreetly as you can, close your notebook.
You ever heard of knocking?
You say as you twist around. The only part of you happy is your stomach as it perks up at the smell of food. Branya walks in with a bowl of grub-getty and grub balls. Normally, she would announce the dish, as though you would not be able to tell what it was. Besides, it was Tuesday for Mother Grub's sake. Tuesday was always grub-getty night. And they quietly leave. She places the tray on top of your dresser and turns to face you. You shift your gaze from the bowl, mouth already starting to salivate a bit, to look at her as she stays.
Good evening, Daraya,
she says, ignoring your comment. She stands as she does before teaching a classroom lesson. Poised, posture poised and perfect, her hands interlocked in front of her above her stomach.
I hope I am not interrupting anything, but there were some things I wanted to discuss this evening.
You snort.
Like you left me anything to do for you to interrupt?
Rania sighs and shakes her head. There's only one chair in the room, so she continues to stand. She continues to talk to you from across the room, and you feel like you should be in you feel like you should be in your full Jade education uniform and taking notes.
As you know, Daraya, the cavern rules set up by myself and our hidemates dictate that a jade blood can only be hide for a maximum of 2.5 months at a time, a limit which you will be reaching at the end of next sweep. At that time, you will be given back your confiscated goods and be able to roam around the caverns as you please. Of course, leaving the caverns is still prohibited, with the exception of Jade-approved field trips.
God, what do you want, Branya?
You interrupt with a dramatically exasperated sigh.
Did you have anything actually useful to say, or did you just come here to try and bore me to death before the end of punishment with stuff literally everyone already knows?
Branya pauses for a moment. Her careful, neutral expression cracks for a moment, and there's a brief flash of hurt on her face. You feel the pang of guilt at this, but it quickly passes. Branya clears her throat.
Right.
She takes a moment to smooth her skirt.
What I wanted to say is that while I know you will not tell me what happened that night you came to the hive so late, or about the events that you foolishly thought warranted putting yourself in danger, I wanted to let you know that I am here if you ever need to talk about anything. I know these types of things can be hard to process, but that is what makes communication so crucial. I am responsible for all your well-being, and it is part of my job to make sure that you...
Yeah, I know. Feel supported and part of the group and all that.
You roll your eyes.
Don't worry, I won't sport a hate boner for you or anything after this. You're just doing your job. Even if it sucks major ass. Are you finally finished yet? I would like to go back to my sulking in peace.
Branya takes a deep breath. You notice her hands squeeze tighter together. Then she reaches into her pocket and takes out your palm husk, the little Lapras charm dangling, and places it on the dresser next to your dinner. You're speechless. You have never known Branya to bend the rules. You stare at her, wide-eyed and mouth slightly agape, waiting for her to explain. Bronya sighs again.
I know this seems out of character for me, but I'm giving this to you early because, 1, as stated in the Jade Rules, good behavior needs to be awarded in order to encourage discipline, obedience, and foster a sense of community. As your behavior during this period has been surprisingly exemplary, despite your frustratingly ridiculous refusal to share whatever the hell is going on with you, I believe you earned this privilege back early. 2, it has grown increasingly difficult to keep the other Jades out of Reprimand Cupboard to rifle through your belongings for blackmail material, and I am tired of buying new locks to replace the ones they keep damaging. I'm also growing increasingly worried at their skill at this, particularly Wanchi's. I believe giving you the phone will improve this situation by removing some of the temptation. 3, your health and mood will be improved by the opportunity to reach out to your colleagues, as well as to allow you to capture upon any planetary news and news of their friends you have outside of the caverns. I hope this was all useful enough for you to warrant my lecture. Have a good rest of your night.
And then she leaves, closing the door behind her. As soon as the door's closed, you bolt out of your chair and snatch your palm husk, hugging it close to your chest, hunger momentarily forgotten. Yes. Hell yes! You have missed this thing so much you feel your eyes start to water a little. The moment is soured slightly when you feel another pang of guilt. Bronya annoys the living hell out of you. She was pretentious and nosy and more than a little bossy, and she followed the rules to a T always. Why the sudden softening? The whole "I'm here for you" fluff. You look at your palm husk screen with its welcoming glow as you turn it on and grin again. You will have time to explore the complicated relationship dynamics you have with the oldest Jade in the caverns later. You start to type out Twitter handles. You have some friends to reach out to. Your stomach makes a loud rumbling sound. After dinner.
Yay!
The start of the Daraya Punk Band AU.
I love it.
Fun fact, so you know that technique that she's using to write the lyrics?
Yes.
That's the technique I used to write Purple Skies. Chrissy took that straight from me.
Sweet. That's really cool.
I don't think I mentioned it on stream, but I'm sure I've told you, Bucky, and Janaya about it at some point. Like, the way I wrote that song was I basically wrote a page and a half of fan fiction about Tizius, stole some lines from it, and turned it in as an assignment.
I do remember you saying that.
So yeah, Daraya is doing that here.
That's awesome. Who is typing?
That's me.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It sounds like I'm writing a newsletter to the fucking New York Times.
Oh, you were writing in chat. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
What was caught by Automod? I suppose
The word ho, as in oh ho.
Huh. Well, I can't blame it for trying to stop us from being called hoes, but also like.
I permitted it. Like I don't fucking Automod sometimes.
You heard it here first, folks. Hoes are allowed in the Will at Homestuck chat.
We are in fact a hoe positive community.
Wait. What's the line from the Pester Quest, Dave Route? Hoes are real and they're camp.
We've got hoes in different areas.